Before we talk about the NBA super teams and whether or not we like them, Francis, you know what today is?
It's not National Donut Day because that passed.
No. Besides it being Chipotle Tuesday, that's every Tuesday.
We know this.
16 years ago, June 6th, Allen Iverson stepped over Tyronn Lue. I put it on Twitter because I think it's ridiculous that we have days for some absurd things during the year. I looked it up. For example, June is Dairy Month, which makes no sense. And I think tomorrow is National Yarn Bombing Day, the type of way you used to sew things.
Interesting.
So why the hell can't June 6th be Allen Iverson Day?
Yeah, very true. Actually, to clarify one thing, I'm not going to associate, as much as there is some stupid days, National Donut Day is not, because there's actually but there's actually a really good historical reason behind it I just found out. Is that it was going back to the World War when women would actually make donuts for either men coming home or for men that are in and around the area during the war. So it was a way that they celebrated this, is whenever they would return or whatever this would be given to them, it would be Donut Day.
Nothing like keeping our soldiers in tip-top shape like a Boston cream donut.
That's it. So I was like, I heard it on Carson Daly. Yeah, Carson Daly's morning show, and I was like, that's actually kind of interesting. I thought it was just because Americans love donuts.
Well, yes, we do love
Thanks
donuts.
a lot,
Homer Simpson loves donuts. But as for the NBA super teams, there's a lot of, well, there's a couple of interesting facts about this one, because as much as the fans might hate the NBA super teams, and for up until about 6 hours ago, I was thinking the league must hate this. And then you see the ratings. Actually, our intern Zach pulled them up recently, and they're good. They're actually some of the best ratings the NBA has ever seen for blowout games in the NBA Finals. So here's the truth of the matter. Whether or not fans like or love it or hate the super teams, as long as the ratings are high, the NBA is not going to care about what you think, which is messed up for the more progressive of leagues. It is. Like, comparatively, I think the NBA does a very good job compared to other sports across the globe, not maybe world football, but in terms of globalization, getting out there, spreading the message, doing things that are bringing in athletes from different countries and getting a nice brand together. But so, Francis, yes or no question, do you like the super team?
Yes. I like the current day and age of basketball.
Yeah, because you grew up with like Real Madrid and Celtic and
used to Luis Suarez saying, you know what, taking my talents to Barcelona, and no one went, oh my God, he's gone to Barcelona? You could have took Liverpool to that success.
Well, Liverpool fans said that.
Exactly. No, but no one really.
Actually, even Liverpool fans are like, no, that seems about right.
This goes back to many underwhelming layers that go a lot deeper than just your opinion that you think or you might think is the most important thing. Is that in other sports, as players often have control over their own contracts, and they have aspirations and they have agents that they want to use to get to a certain level. That's still the same in American sports, but teams have such overarching control over players more often than not. And I saw it as a way that potentially hinders a lot of players that can't go on and try to obtain what they want. Like, regardless of whatever team you play at, yeah, you can have such a sense of loyalty to a team growing up, but if that team at any given moment could just be plucked and put in a different area, you can't turn around and tell me that Kevin Durant is the shadiest character because he's not going to pledge allegiance to a team that wasn't even there. They took that team from another place.
I know, but he was, first of all, I was gonna wear, I have a Seattle Supersonics hat. I was thinking just recently, like, what if they never went to Oklahoma City?
Yeah, remember we said that.
What if he's embraced by Seattle, which I think the Oklahoma City fans are amazing. But I'm just curious, what does the league look like if Kevin Durant is not just on the Thunder? I'm saying, like, if the Seattle Supersonics are there, what changes?
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting point.
If the owner of Starbucks paid for a damn stadium, pretty much, that's it.
And obviously I'm being a little out there with that statement, but it means that if you're going to be outraged at that, then you better be outraged at any team in any sport getting ripped out, because fans are loyal to players, obviously, and they want players to stick with them, but you need to also hold everyone else accountable. Like, it's like saying that you're going to be upset that quarterback of the Chargers, what's his name?
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers, when maybe say he was very talented and wanted to go somewhere that he's got a good chance at the Super Bowl. You're going to be that upset at him if he goes and then all of a sudden the Chargers are ripped away from San Diego and delivered to LA. You got to be outraged at the
we are talking
players have their own aspirations.
That's true. I understand that point, but we are talking about two different like groups of fans in general. People who were fans of the Supersonics I don't think I could be wrong. I don't think they even came close to becoming Thunder fans. I think they started to I would safely bet that they don't like the Thunder that much because they're like, that's my team.
Yeah.
You took Kevin Durant from us and Russell Westbrook and Serge Ibaka. Just what other, and Jeffrey Laverne. Regardless, that's obviously not somebody that's worth mentioning in that statement. But we have some elements. So I think we have elements, or maybe the conspiracy theory that I'm going to start peddling around this company is that there's people out to get TYT Sports within our own company.
Oh, interesting. I was like, sorry, the whole time that I was thinking, like, I had a point that I was going to make and it just completely vanished. Oh, it was a point on
conspiracies.
No, on conspiracies, we have that as well. On the point of people watching and the ratings going up, like if you're constantly surprised that just because you go on Twitter and you think that because people hate Kevin Durant, it means they're not going to watch. Like, think back to the last time you ever heard a fan go, I hate Kevin Durant. I can't wait to not watch that game tonight. Like, no one ever is going to say that. They're going to be like, I hate Kevin Durant. I can't wait to watch it from my own home and scream as if he can hear me.
I just think, so I want to get to the ratings for that reason because they bring in, actually this is number 5, element number 5. The Associated Press cited Nielsen Company numbers Monday and noted the first 2 games of the third straight showdown between the Warriors and Cleveland Cavaliers averaged 19.6 million viewers, which is a 5% increase from last year. And according to the AP, Sunday's Game 2 averaged 20.1 million viewers, the highest for an NBA Finals Game 2 since Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls battled the Utah Jazz in 1998. I'm actually shocked because I would have thought after, speaking of Allen Iverson Day, Allen Iverson stole Game 1 from the Los Angeles Lakers and prevented them from going 16-0. They went 15-1 for that NBA playoffs run. I thought that Game 2 would be like the highest rated because everyone would probably think at that point, well, what if AI could do it again? And then obviously, I think there's also been different ways to ratings. And it just also immediately made me think of Wes Mantooth in the Anchorman scene, where he's like, oh, Wes is just a little upset that he's number 2 in the ratings. You know those companies don't take into account households with more than 2 TV sets. In addition to that, Francis, the short memory, well, actually I take that back. There's a few, man, they have like a brief history of super teams on like a lot of websites, like the gallery websites where you can do slideshows. And we have to put something to rest really quickly. There are only in the history of the NBA before this 3 super teams. The first that I really remember, because I don't think anything before 2000 could even be considered one. There was so many different things in place in the collective bargaining agreements that it was nearly impossible to make it happen. Like somebody mentioned Moses Malone and Dr. J. Yeah, come on. Like yes, they were really good. Don't get me wrong. Moses Malone like averaged like 18 rebounds a game for most of that. It was almost a 20-20 guy with Dr. J. But those are just 2 pieces. When we talk about super teams, we're really talking 3 or more. And in addition to that, the Lakers when they got Gary Payton and Karl Malone, and old Gary Payton, old Karl Malone, who yes were ring chasing. So stop believing that they were trying to do it for any other reason. They fell short to the Detroit Pistons in the early 2000s. That prevented the Lakers 4-peat. If not 4-peat, at least their 4th title was Shaq and Kobe. Yeah, because Shaq and Kobe got 3, Kobe got 2 more. And then there's the Celtics, right? And that was the first big 3. You have Ray Allen, you have Kevin Garnett, and you have Paul Pierce. Eventually, Rondo started to fit in. There they are. Look at them, all friends. And well, that's when Ray Allen and them were all friends.
Yeah, it was one of their friends before Ray took his super team.
Oh yeah,
to another super team.
And then and Doc Rivers. It's obviously still not Blake's fault at this point. In addition to that, then you had the Miami Heat and Bosh, Wade, and James, and the always forgotten to be mentioned James Jones, who's also been to 7 straight NBA Finals. Play with LeBron, so it's like his best friend.
Interesting.
7 straight finals. And then I just thought this was really funny. No team is super if Dwight Howard's on it, but they felt the need to put in the Los Angeles Lakers with Steve Nash, Kobe Bryant, and Dwight Howard. Except the problem was Steve Nash played 1 game. Dwight Howard can't even take the picture correctly. It's all back to the photo.
It shows the name at least.
I just thought that was hilarious to go, it's a super team. I go, look, if it's a super team and we have the benefit of retrospect, don't put that Lakers team on there.
But therefore, are we only valuing super teams if they win?
No, I'm just, it's not that the Lakers, that super team Lakers didn't win. They didn't even play together for the most part.
They could.
And it sucks because Steve Nash, one of the most fun teams to look at. I don't care about the super team. Here's what I think. I've said this since day one. I understand why Kevin Durant went to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I completely agree at this point that yes, you have no other argument that it was anything but a weak move. But people seem to be having trouble understanding these two terms of understanding and calling them weak. It's both. It's a weak move, but I understand why. And we're doing another clip in a second about if it, so make sure to check the channel at some point for if it validates. And that's a very easy answer as well, even though there's a whole argument against it. I have two more elements. There has been a lot of headlines circulating about the super team thing. Is forming a super team the only way to contend? Heat's Haslam Winslow weighs in, probably. And then the next one, that was from Miami Herald. 5 NBA super teams that could form this offseason. We're already talking about other super teams. And now it's gonna be like the buzzword. It's gonna be like Snowflake, but much better, I guess.
Oh no!
It is.
I just got a horrible image.
I know you did, but still, it's gonna
be Prompter moving over to the NBA.
It's gonna be like Snowflake, but they call it like super team, and then I can't wait till they see like, well, what super team is in the making? Giannis, Jabari Parker, the super team that could stay super in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and I think there is some sort of conflict as to which, like, if Kevin Durant didn't go to the Golden State Warriors, like,
congrats,
Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, like, you're considered to be super regard. Like, I get it. You're joining a team and you're forming that superpower. But there's other examples. It's like 3 dominant players and you built the team around them. Like, it is a different example when I think Kevin Durant goes to a team that it's already been a championship winning team. So that's where most of the argument could be made in regards to how weak the move was.
Why couldn't Kevin just sign a year contract? Here's the thing. Well, I should save it for the KD Validate one. So I'll save it for the KD Validate.
You save it for the KD Validate. What about the New Orleans? The New Orleans. The New Orleans Pelicans. If Chris Paul goes there, is that a super team with Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins?
What about Chris Paul? Why don't everybody talk about the potential for Chris Paul to play with Porzingis and Melo? I don't get why that's not.
Is that a super team?
Yeah, we got Porzingis. And we're gonna possibly find a way to have Darren Fox fall to us in the draft. I don't know.
What is the requirements for a super team? How many players have to be in the current team before an MVP candidate or superstar joins them?
3.
To make
it has to be 3.
It has to be 3?
3 or more. It's like 3 or more.
So who's fallen by the wayside in the Golden State Warriors? Klay Thompson. He's not making.
No, that's the thing. If there's 4 of them, it's 3 or more. So if it's 4 or more, it's like the Justice League.
I thought it just had to be.
No,
3.
that's too nice. That's the Justice. It's like I can't call them the Suicide
Squad.
So
Chris
either.
Paul goes to the Spurs. Is that a super team? Do you consider Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge?
Yes, it's a super team. Whatever's left of Pau Gasol and Manu Ginobili.
See, I think we are going to end up being like the Snowflake terminology, where it comes down to you don't even know what it means. You just throw it around. Like now, it's just gonna be like super team. Who'd you lose to today? Bobcats. Super team.
They don't. The Bobcats.
That's the whole point. It's not around.
The Bobcats.
They were a super team when, Jason, when they recruited?
Kwame Brown?
Nathan Scott from Montreal.
Oh,